Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Mark here with the Better Mark, and let's get into the NBA slate. We're going to break down all the games Wednesday, November 13th. All right, so hope you guys are all doing well. Welcome back to the channel. This is where we're going to tell you guys right now, if you have not done so, we do talk all betting, sports, NBA, hockey, football. Right now, we're kind of diving into that equinox where all things are crazy. It's nuts. It's a great time to be alive. Make sure you guys all like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's break down these games, okay? First one we're going to do is we are going to dive into Outlier. That's where I get all my information and data. For the most part, it does allow me to make the best bet possible. If you guys want to get signed up with Outlier, links down below in the description for a 7-day free trial. Now, this is a bet that I almost made, okay? Where we're going to talk about the Indiana Pacers and the Orlando Magic. Coming in this game, you can talk about the overwhelmingly amount of the handle is on the Pacers, plus 1.5. I do think this number, minus 1.5. I do think this number will be bought up a little bit more so. Okay, we do see a great betting split towards the under. We had a lot of injuries in the prior game. Jalen Suggs exited. We do have a lot of questionable tags as Obi Toppin out, maybe out for the Pacers. Paolo Banchero still remains out for the Magic. And then we do get Neesmith and Nembhard out for the Pacers as well. So I don't really foresee a lot of points. Orlando plays good defense, and over the last few games, you know, Indiana was able to beat New York on a interesting game. They're both coming off of a lot of rest. The Magic, conversely, yesterday beating Charlotte, so they are on a back-to-back. They have won 3 straight. That's kind of why this number is a little bit fishy. I do lean Indiana in this game. I absolutely love them on the spread. Came this close to making this bet, but I want to see kind of what's happening with these injuries. It's just something where I'm going to stay away from this one because I don't trust the Pacers on the road. Both of these teams come in essentially 500. But for me, guys, it's a strong lean towards the Pacers on the money line, okay? And that's where you can find that right now with the best number available is minus 120, okay? Next bet we're going to talk about is the Boston Celtics, 9-3 on the season, taking on the Brooklyn Nets on the road, laying 8.5. Okay, this is one where it might be just a touch too high if in terms of the number. Brooklyn has been a scrappy team, 8-3 ATS. Now that's something to put into perspective here as we look at the Nets, and you can talk about what they were able to do, beating the Pelicans yesterday. Or 2 days ago on the road, playing Cleveland tough, 105-100, and then recently against the Celtics on the 8th of November, 108-104 against Boston. Okay, so it's a lean towards Brooklyn. As always, Boston can win by double digits. However, they have not really been executing in a way where you look at their kind of games, and they've been all winning with the exception of a November 4th game against Atlanta on the road where they won by margin. All of their games have been within 10 points, okay? And recently on yesterday's game, Atlanta, one of the worst teams in the NBA, not only losing, but that game was 117-116 as Boston came in as a 16-point favorite. So I would lean towards taking the Nets here plus 8.5 as a best bet. No official play. Okay. Pelicans and the Oklahoma City Thunder, they will be involved with a money line parlay for me. This is a game where the Pelicans, without Zion, 3-8 on the season, without McCollum, coming in and taking on a Thunder on the road, albeit this is a 14.5-point number. I think it's well-deserved, okay? I think that the spread here, I think it's a little bit cheap still. I lean OKC laying the 14.5. It's a big number, but I don't hate it. The handle does back that up. 79% of the money is on the Thunder here in this spot. However, the Thunder do have Holmgren as well as Nikola Topic, and Jalen Williams still remain out. Isaiah Hartenstein is out, okay? But conversely, you look at the Pelicans, McCollum, Williamson, Alvarado, they have a lot of players out as well, and they have dropped a ton straight. Horrible team ATS, 2-9 on the season, 3-8 straight up. This is a game where I definitely see the Thunder rolling as long as SGA plays. So I do not mind the 14.5 in this spot, but we will be attacking this in terms of the side on the Thunder if I was going to make a bet. But the money line here is something that we're going to add. You can take an alternate spread too if you want to juice up the number, but they are going to be in my money line parlay that I will have with 3 teams for tonight's games that I will show you guys at the end of this video. All right, Bulls-Knicks. This is a game where we have a play in the prop market. The Bulls come into this game as a 8.5-point underdog. The Knicks, albeit, if you want to look at kind of who they have available, the big story behind this game okay, is the fact that this is a second game of a back-to-back for the Knicks. Okay, they fought Philly, tough, testy game. This is something where you look at kind of who's able to play. Will Brunson suit up? That's kind of where we're going to jump on this number. I took the Bulls +9 as a best bet. That's where I lie. I also have a play in the prop market. I'm going to show you guys that real quickly. This is Josh Hart. We're going to take the over 5.5 assists. It's a lot of juice. We're going to lay -140. But look at the last 5 games, guys. 7, 8, 7, 6, and 10 assists, respectively. So dating back until October, this is hit and cashed 6 of the 7 last games that they've played for the Knicks, and especially if Brunson does not suit up, we do get this game a little bit closer, so the Knicks would extend into the fourth quarter. You know, that's why I like the Bulls +9, as well as Josh Hart over 5.5 assists. They're going to have to get a lot of people involved to compete if Brunson does not play. So I'm taking Josh Hart over 5.5 assists as a best bet. I'm going to lay the juice. It's a big number, but there's some definite value here at 5.5. Okay, back into the odds. The next game is the Cavs and 76ers. We all know the storyline with the 76ers, okay? And we all know the storyline with the Cavs. Best team by the record, 12-0 on the season, and they are covering 9-3 against the number, okay? I don't love the Cavs -9.5. It's something worth talking as the 76ers are 1-9 ATS. And now as we look at 76ers in terms of their last 5 games, they've dropped 4 or 5. They did play last night at home against the Knicks. Now Cleveland comes for the second game of a home back-to-back. Okay, the Cavs will be featured in my moneyline parlay, but other than that, that's kind of where we look into kind of the narrative. It's just a big number, and eventually this wheel will break. Cleveland against the spread. Okay, they have dropped their last 2 games ATS. Right now, there is no value taking Cleveland against the number because right now they are going to be close to a double-digit favorite against anybody that is not in the top 15, top 12 even in terms of numbers and rankings. Okay, so that's kind of where I'm staying away from this, but I do think the Cavs get the win, so I'm taking the Cavs here on the money line -440 in my moneyline parlay. Okay. Next game, Bucks Pistons. Staying away from this one. I don't like betting against the Bucks, and I don't like betting against the Pistons. So this is a stay away game for me. I don't like the spot, to be honest. So this is one where we do look at the Clippers 4.5. If anything, I would take the Clippers +4.5, +5 juiced up. I think that's the right side. But I'm staying away. I'm sorry. Taking the Pistons +5.5. I skipped ahead to the next game. Taking the Pistons +5.5. I think that is the right side, but I don't like betting against both of these teams, so I'm going to stay away from this contest as well. Okay. Clippers and the Rockets. All right. Now, this is one where we will have an official play. This will be on the side of the props. We're going to stay with assists. Okay. I do like James Harden. Now, the Clippers coming to this game, getting 4.5 on the road. And this is where we look into kind of his metrics right here for the assists. Okay, we're going to take this right now at the under 8.5. You look at kind of the last 6 games. He's cashed the under 5 of his last 6. He did eclipse that against the Thunder where he had 9 assists, but I don't think this continues tonight's game. I think there's value under 8.5. It may be close, but I do think Harden goes under the number. He's done that in 5 of his last 6 games. And then if we want to talk about it even more so as we look into kind of Harden playing in Houston, it's one where he's done it on the road. He's done it at home more so. But it seemingly looks like on the road he does end up with more assists. I do think this is a potential where, you know, maybe some rest comes into play. Who knows? But I do like the James Harden prop under 8.5 assists. That will be one of my best bets. Right now you can find the best number available, -109 here in the market. So almost even money. Okay, Wizards Spurs. This game is one where the total is set right where I'd have it, 223. It's going to be in the 220s. But for the Wizards on that side, +9.5 against the Spurs, that's a huge number. Okay, that's a huge number to lay. I don't really know if it's warranted. I think that whenever you have kind of the injuries that they have going on, okay, you have to look at kind of what's going on with the Wizards. Brogdon's out. Holmes is questionable. You get Branham questionable for the Spurs. Trey Jones remains out, as well as Sochan. It's a 50-50 shot. We look at the ATS for the Wizards, 2-7 on the season. I think the Spurs kind of looking like the better side. The Spurs have won 116-96 last game out against Sacramento. They do have 1 day of rest for both of these clubs. Washington is failing, maybe the worst team in the NBA, 2-7 on the season. They don't cover the number, and this is something where I definitely could see the Spurs covering 9.5. It's just too big of a number, okay? And in all these games that Washington has failed to cover the number, they were double digits, albeit for one game, double-digit underdogs. So if you want to lay the Spurs, I don't blame you. But for me, guys, this is where we're going to look at possibly, the total is just set right where it needs to be. I do think that the Spurs are the right side. It's just too big of a number for me to get involved, okay? So I'm going to pass on this game. We do have 3 games left to talk about. I will save the best for last, so let's jump ahead to that Phoenix Suns-Sacramento game. The Suns are 7.5-point underdogs, okay? A surprising number, but if you look into kind of what's going on, we do have Kevin Durant remains out. Bradley Beal is questionable. Nurkic is out. And then for the Kings, respectively, Malik Monk is out once again. So it's going to come down to the health status. If you want to get into some Devin Booker props, great. That's a great spot to be. I think he's going to thrive with Durant out of the lineup. So I will think Devin Booker's may have a potential to ladder his points. The only thing you got to worry about here is a blowout. Okay, but I think Booker's going to have a lot of volume. I think he's going to be shooting incredibly amount of times in this game. Sacramento's been playing scrappy. They were able to beat Phoenix in Phoenix 127-118. That's why I'm not getting involved. It's hard to beat a team twice, but with the injury statuses and Durant out, if I'm going to bet this game, it's going to be Booker props and Booker props only, okay? Minnesota and Portland. This is something where we want to talk about this game. The T-Wolves have found their stride, -8.5. However, they are still 6-5 on the season, so seemingly a little bit underperforming in terms of the market. Portland, on the other hand, we could talk about them as Ayton remains out, Tybalt is out, Simmons is questionable, and Minnesota, okay, they are getting heavy respect. 9.5-point favorites, not covering the number. They were 12-point favorites against Portland back on the 8th of November, and they did get the win, winning 127-102, covering the number. So I do think Portland is something where it's a bad matchup for Minnesota. Minnesota is albeit healthy. 8.5 is not that bad of a number. So will they return the favor, go on the road this time and win by 9? Sure. That would be kind of where I'm at. That's my best bet. If I was going to play this game, I would lean Timberwolves. You could see the spread handle kind of backing up that trend as well, as you do get 84% of the money is on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Okay, and then my last and final bet, it's going to be kind of a funny one. I love betting blocks and steals. So my last bet of my 5-pack for today, we're going to dive into the Lakers-Memphis game. For Memphis, we all know the storyline with them, what we have going on within the likes of John Morant. He's out with his hip. We have Vince Williams still questionable, not probably playing. Marcus Smart as well as Desmond Bane's going to be out. And we do have a lot of questionable tags and outs for the Lakers. So for this game in specific, I do think there's potential for blowout. I do like the Lakers a lot on the money line. If you do want to add them to a parlay, great dance partner. Anytime you get the Grizzlies without John Morant, it leads to a great betting opportunity. However, we do look into the 6.5. It's a little bit too juicy for me. If you do want to take the Lakers -6, I would lean towards that as well. But my best bet I'm going to be making is within the prop market, in the block market to be precise. We're going to take the LeBron James under a half block, okay? He's only had, in this season, all right, in the last 10 games, he's only had 3 times where he's recorded a block, okay? Albeit against Philly, he had 3. 2 against Minnesota and Sacramento, he had 1. So I do see some value. I think this has blowout potential. Maybe LeBron gets some rest. Maybe he gets less minutes, okay? And if we do get that situation, less opportunities for blocks. This is hit in 70% of the games in the last 10. I do see LeBron under a half block, -110, having some value. So that will be my 5th and final play of the day, okay? So here's a quick rundown. We will talk about it. I'm taking Chicago +9, Cavs, Thunder, and the Houston money lines. We're going to put those all in a parlay. That will pay a -102 figure. Harden under 8.5 assists. Josh Hart over 5.5 assists. And LeBron James, we just talked about it, under a half block. So he remains blockless in this contest at -110. All right, that's my best bets. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Give me a follow on X as well. The handle is in the bottom left. We'll see you over in the Discord. Appreciate you guys. Good luck with your picks.